Hey there everyone, and welcome to the first wizard combo video. This is my first one that I'm making, and in this one we're going to look at the combination of Frost Armor and Protection Bubble. So I entered the specifics here on my guide if you want to read that through, but I'm going to show it as well because these are always best shown. Looking at the numbers itself cannot always be very clear. So this is a defensive combo, and in general if you're going to be going in without any defenses on, just normal health, normal armor, you're going to get killed off really quickly. So when we're talking about all these defenses and how they combine and stuff, and how strong they are, you've got to remember that if you have none on, you're going to die really quickly. So in most cases as well, you're going to have this on almost constantly, which is a 60% damage reduction, and that means you can take some hits. Anyway, so this at 10 out of 99, this is close enough. I've accidentally made it 13, but so what this does, it will multiply your armor by times 2.5, which is the equivalent of a 60% damage reduction. This protection bubble will add on a shield on top of you, which is equivalent to 75% of your total health. You don't really need to worry about the numbers so much for that, in terms of how much your health actually is. This 75% of your health, it's basically like an additional 75% on top of this. So say you're at you're full health, you're 100%. Then it'll be like you're on 175%, and so either that can be destroyed and then it will start hurting your health again, or the duration expires, the 6 seconds here. So this 75%, this is actually increased by your Frost Armor. That's the point of this video, is if you've got extra armor, higher armor or higher damage reduction, it will mean that this protection bubble survives better. So this is Frost Armor is 60% damage reduction. With the protection bubble there, the 75%, the two combine, it's like a 0.75 times, 75% here, times 2.5. So it ends up actually at 187.5% of your health. So what this means in practice is you can use the two of them together to tank up really nicely. I'm going to show it here with, I'm going to destroy these. We're going to leave it with just the boss. I think that'll prove a better example. And if you could see there, about just over 3 hits from the boss will kill me. So if we do that with Frost Armor now, Frost Armor active, you got one hit on me there, but so it will take off noticeably less. Now if I use Protection Bubble, as well at the same time, he's going to be able to well, if we talk numbers, we can actually talk numbers here, because I said it takes just over 3 hits to kill me. If we say he takes off a third of my health each time, then with the protection bubble on, he's going to take about 2 or 3 hits to get rid of the protection bubble. However, with Frost Armor as well, it's going to take him, how many is it? Sorry, I've got to think. Got to play and think at the same time. But it's going to be 2 or 3 hits, but then you've got the 25% extra, so the 2.5 times, so it's going to be more like 7, is that? 7 hits? More like 8 hits maybe. 8 or 9, oh I can't decide now. 8 or 9, something like that, which he's not going to do, so he's not actually going to get through it at all. So if I use Protection Bubble here, we'll see if I get hurt at all. Is it going to survive? Yep, see it's destroyed, he's started hurting me. Now if I use Protection Bubble and Frost Armor, he will definitely not destroy it in time. I'll just use Frost Armor in. There we go. Okay, Protection Bubble now. So the first hit was before the bubble went on. Ah, come on. He's not gonna... He's messing around with me now. He's not using it in time. He's not doing basic attacks, is what I mean. Okay, alright, let's try this again. Frost Armor's nearly back. Okay, so this move done, fine. Now he's going to do basic attacks. Just watch my health. So he's going to hit me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's probably the end of the bubble there. But yeah, point is, it lets you tank up really nicely for a short while. And if you go as far as leveling this up to 99, this is the way I would preferably do it, because leveling this up reduces the duration of it. So if you got this to 99, it does increase the damage reduction by lots. However, it's only going to go for a short period of time, and you're going to have massive gaps in between uses of it, where you're going to have no damage reduction, and Protection Bubble can't really bridge those gaps very nicely. Getting this up doesn't reduce the duration at all, it just increases the cooldown slightly, from 20 to 30, which is a bit annoying, but the bubble becomes then twice as effective. And actually this cooldown of 30 seconds is going to match the cooldown of Frost Armor, so that's kind of nice. You can use the two of them in line with each other. Or you can use it to bridge the gap. You've got like sort of 4 seconds or so between Frost Armors. But anyway, now if we get some enemies out, or if I just, yeah, actually I kind of want some enemies out. Ah, perfect. Now he uses the enemies at the time I want it. So I'm going to let some enemies stack up. I'm just going to circle round, let the enemies stack up, and then we're going to see how effectively the Protection Bubble will tank up when there are loads of enemies. Looking at the numbers of this, because the shield health has doubled with this, I think I said it was 187.5% of your health. It's the equivalent amount on the shield. That becomes 350% of your health. So as you can imagine, they've got to kill you like 3.5 times over. That's 3.5 times if you had no damage reduction, which in reality you probably wouldn't. But you would never be in that state. But still, very good tanking. Alright, I don't really want these suicide enemies. But anyway, let's use the two of them together. And as you can see, I'm taking no damage. That was, I'm not sure how many seconds, about 4 seconds I think. So it wasn't complete immunity to all damage. I think in my guide I said that it was kind of good enough to give you immunity to damage. And I think that's a bit of a stretch. It's not complete invincibility for 6 seconds. But certainly it's strong enough that you can tank up a lot of attacks and not take any damage before then you take damage and you get killed. I probably should show it with Frost Armor maxed. I'm going to do that in a second. I'm just going to show one more time like how quickly those enemies would kill me without any buffs on. Yep, that's how quickly. Kind of almost as soon as they start attacking. If there's more than one enemy attacking you, you just go down really quickly. So how I would preferably use this is Frost Armor you have on almost constantly, and then when you need to tank up more, use Protection Bubble, and that will give you really good tanking for about at least 3 or 4 seconds. You'll not take any damage. And yeah, I'd say in most cases it would give you full protection for the 6 seconds. In PvP I'm not so sure, and certainly if you're stood there with loads of enemies attacking you like I was, then you wouldn't be able to do it. Now, with both of these level to max, the amount of protection is going to be absolutely huge. So with this at 99 out of 99, it becomes a 75% damage reduction, or the equivalent of it anyway. So the 75% means that the shield health is essentially quadrupled. So it's like a 600% of your max health, which is huge. And it's like how much would that be? I'm trying to think. I can't do 1/7 as a percentage, but it makes you survive 7 times better for those 6 seconds. I don't think much could really break through that. Let's use it actually now. There's loads of suicide enemies, so we'll see. But yeah, the suicide enemies aren't really going off. Alright, they did destroy it. That was with all the suicide enemies. We'll see again. I'll take out the suicide enemies this time. We'll just see in the normal enemies how much they'll do. Just gotta wait for the cooldowns. Probably should have done this with the cooldown potion. I wanted to show it without a cooldown potion just to kind of give a better what killed me? Better example of it. Okay, alright, bear with me. Okay, we're back, and lots of enemies, and I'm going to clear out the suicide enemies, then tank up, and we'll see. We have got the special attacks going on at the boss, but still, that was pretty good protection. I'm not sure if that lasted the full 6 seconds. It might have done, actually. I didn't see the bubble on me after it ended, like after I was getting hurt. Because the bubble does stay there even after it's been destroyed, which is a bit annoying. Anyway, okay, let's try this again. Tank up, let them attack me. And it's definitely tanking up very, very well. That was to the end, I think. Yep, that was to the end of the 6 seconds. So that tanked up completely for the 6 seconds, and considering how many enemies were attacking me, that was very good. But yeah, like I said, that's not really the most optimal position for me, because you're going to have these huge gaps in between where you're not protected. And suddenly, with a cooldown potion, you can have what's it called? Sorry. With the cooldown potion, you can have Frost Armor active a lot more, but without one, you're going to have these huge gaps. And I would much prefer to have the longer duration on Frost Armor, and then just have Protection Bubble at max, and then you know that when you use that, you're going to be tanking very well for the duration of that. And otherwise, you have a 60% damage reduction, which is good enough for most cases. Now, I'm showing these without skill runes on. That is for obvious reasons, because it's the base skills really which have this combo. Skill runes don't really add much onto it. I mean, there are no Frost Armor skill runes that really add any defensive properties on them. Nature Blessing does a root on enemies and a bit of a heal, but that heal's so infrequent, that's not going to help out. And then for Protection Bubble, all the effects do damage. Guardian Light does a tiny heal, but that's kind of pointless again. So yeah, this is the base skills here which work in combination with each other, and it's pretty much the best defensive combination that wizards have, unless you want to bring Healing Fountain into the mix as well. But that kind of that's more of a in addition to the other two. These other two are the sort of more core defensive skills that are going to work together. And Protection Bubble by itself is definitely weaker than Frost Armor. It's much better to just use it as an add-on to Frost Armor to let yourself tank up for that those 6 seconds. So yeah, that's a showcase of that combination of skills. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I should probably say in PvP, using these in combination again will let you tank up for a very solidly, and it's the combination which I use against archers, because you can be on the move as you do this, so you can use them both before you go into the combat with the archer, and then rush into the combat and fight them. With an archer, you really need to be prepared before you go into the combat, otherwise if you're using skills and stuff trying to defend yourself, you're going to be killed off before you can then actually attack and kill them. So this is my favourite combination for taking on archers, and that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.